What's up? Welcome to another week of Love After Lockup. This is season 3, episode 11, I believe. I hope I got it right, y'all. Y'all know how I am with these episodes, but I believe the name of this one is called Thin Line. Thin Line. Up in Old Flames. That's what it is. I got it together. Y'all, listen. I actually watched it on time this week. I watched it on Friday night when it came on. Took my notes while it was on so that I could get up early Saturday morning and get this video out, get this review out for y'all. And between Friday night and right now, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened, but I do know that I put out a video before this one. It's my I think I named it like random spending during the pandemic. I think that's the name of it. But if you just go to the video right before this one, you'll see it. And when I tell y'all, it literally took the whole day for that video to upload. Like, I was so pissed, y'all. My equipment that I record with, no, not this camera, don't come from my Canon, but all the equipment that I use to upload my videos and edit my videos, y'all, it's like super outdated. So I gotta upgrade. So y'all need to be hitting that like button. Y'all definitely need to be hitting that subscribe button so that, you know, I can step the game up, because this is just too much. It takes hours to upload a 20, 30, 40-minute video. Like, it's ridiculous. But it's because my equipment is outdated. But y'all don't care nothing about that. But if you do care, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But anyway, this is your girl P Hope, and we finna get into the review. I know y'all ain't got time for all that. If y'all nosy people trying to figure out what my shirt say, it says Monday, because today is Monday when I'm recording this video, and it's just, you know, this is ridiculous. This show came on Friday. I digress. Whew. We're gonna jump right on in to Michael and Sarah, y'all. So it picks up where we left off last week with Sarah sitting in the therapist's office, and she's still going the fuck off, okay? She is sitting on the couch, and she's just telling her therapist, like, I'm done, I'm over it. Like, he don't do nothing. He just don't do nothing. And so she's pissed. And so, you know, the therapist keeps like pulling stuff out of her. She says, you know, Michael has not stepped up. He's not done anything as a father. He's supposed to been down there some days ago so that she could introduce him to Malcolm. And but instead of him doing that, he's a no call, no show. So, you know, this has put her anxiety, this has put her anger, this has put all her emotions on level 10, and she just can't take it at this point. So she's like, just give me a minute. So she goes outside, and she slams her car door, and then we hear her make a phone call. She's on the phone with Malcolm, and she's telling Malcolm, look, I just need you to calm me down. Y'all know that, you know, her ethnic side comes out when she's upset. So, you know, most of the time, you know, she's talking real calm, cool, and collected. But when she gets upset, like, that's when that other side of her just kind of comes out. Even though she's full Caucasian, but her black scent comes out when she is upset. So she's on the phone with Malcolm, and she's like, I just need you to calm me down. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I'm done with Mike. He don't do nothing. So, you know, her boyfriend is on the other end of the phone, and he like, look, baby, just, you know what I'm saying, just calm down. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. You know, I was there at one point, and I understand that, you know, it can be frustrating, you know, but you're going to be all right. Like, just calm down. Okay, baby, I just needed you to calm me down. And so then, as they're wrapping up the conversation, she gets a rapper tap on her window pane, and it's production is, and so she's like, well, look, you know, this production, I guess they're telling me I gotta go or whatnot, but you know, thank you for calming me down. So she gets out of the car. She's like, I'm done, I'm tired of doing this. So she goes back in, and she and the therapist is sitting outside the room, and then she's standing in this little doorway, and she's like, can I talk to you for a minute alone? And the therapist looking at her like, you want to talk to me? And so she's like, yeah, you. And so they go in the room and talk, but you know, no tea, no shade. If I was the therapist, I would have felt some type of way. I know that they are trying not to take things personal, but she would have had to get her mind right before I stepped in that room. Because, baby, what you not finna do is reflect your anger for Michael off on me. Because I would hate to kick these click clockers off and bop you upside your head with one because your mouth a little too slick. You know what I'm saying? Moving on to the next scene. It's finally time for Baby Rain's birthday party, okay? So, they're at the little event hall. They're getting it all set up. I think her boyfriend Malcolm and the best friend, I don't forgot the best friend name, y'all. But anyway, Sarah's best friend, they're the two people that show up first, or, you know, so it seems. That's all we see. And so, you know, the best friend is, you know, she's definitely happy to see Malcolm there. And she's also asking Sarah, like, well, is Michael gonna show up? And you know, Sarah like, look, you know, who knows? Nobody knows but God at this point, because I ain't talked to the man. So, you know, I'm assuming that he's not coming. And so, the best friend, like, you know, I'm glad he's not coming. Like, I don't know why he would show up to an event like this anyway. Like, you know, nobody likes him. And then it's full of, you know, your family here. Nobody cares for him. But, you know, I usually be on the side with the best friend, because Michael is a piece of shit when it comes to dealing with Sarah. But the best friend rubbed me all the wrong way, especially because, you know, my mothering hat and my parenting hat came out at this point at little Baby Rain's birthday party. So I understand that she don't have kids, so I'm gonna give you a pass this time, best friend. But don't ever say no ignorant shit like that again, that you hope that Michael don't show up to this baby birthday party. As a parent, you have to pull your emotions out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what co-parenting is about. It doesn't matter how this man treat me. It doesn't matter how I feel about this man. If he's making an effort to be in his kid's life and being there and showing up for things like birthday parties and Christmases and things like that, let him be there at all costs. Because at the end of the day, those are memories that those little girls are going to always carry with them. So if he shows up or he don't show up, can play a major role in how those kids grow up. Like, believe it or not, I know y'all are saying, you know, some of y'all, especially if you don't have kids, you might be saying, well, how can a 1-year-old feel some type of way if her daddy come or don't come? Trust me, it starts from birth. Parents being involved in a kid's life is extremely important on the way that they are being raised. Like, I mean, that's just a scientific fact. So for the best friend to sit there and say, well, I hope he don't show up, you sound dumb as fuck. Because it's not about you. It's not about Sarah. It ain't about Malcolm or nobody else that was in that room except for Baby Rain and I forget the oldest baby name, but the eldest baby. The two kids that belong to Michael. It's very important for that man to show up. So, you know, don't say no dumbass shit like that no more, because you made me a little mad. But like I said, you don't have kids, and we know how you feel about Michael, so I give your ass a pass that time. So, you know, as they're sitting there chopping it up or whatever, and they're having conversation, Sarah gets a phone call. It's Michael. He's saying, you know, hey, you know, I'm in New York. I'm in town, you know, just go ahead and give me the address to the birthday party so that I can show up. So she's like, oh, now you want to call me? So you're in town? I thought you're supposed to be in town, you know, some days ago or whatever. Like, what happened? So Michael like, look, I don't have time to talk to you about all that right now. If you want to have a conversation about that at a later time, at a later date, I'll be more than happy to have it with you. But I'm not trying to do all that right now. Like, can you just send me the address? So, you know, there goes her irritation and her anxiety all over again because, you know, he's calling at the last minute, first of all. And then second of all, he's being real dry and real, you know, standoffish in a way. So she's like, look, I'll shoot you the address. But, you know, I just want you to know that the party starts in 4 minutes. And then, you know, the conversation just kind of end like that. So both of them have an attitude at this point. Michael pulls up in the parking lot and he's getting ready to get his gifts out, and Sarah meets him outside and she's like, look, you know, long story short, you already know what's up with me and you. So at the end of the day, I've been dating somebody and that person is inside of the birthday party. So I want to bring him out here to introduce y'all so that, you know, it won't be no kind of issues or no kind of tension at the party and everybody can have a good time. So Mike instantly started looking crazy and he like, I'm not finna meet no dude that you just started dating a few days ago, and, you know, I'm finna go in here, enjoy my daughter's birthday party, and I'm finna dip. Like, it is what it is. And so I don't know if Sarah was expecting him to feel some type of way. Of course, men are always going to downplay it for more than what it is. So I'm sure he did feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, Michael already know all the shit that he do. So, I mean, it's almost a given that one day Sarah was going to move on. He just probably didn't expect that day to be the day. So, what he do after that? Oh, so yeah, he like, look, I ain't studying all that. I ain't trying to meet nobody. I'm finna go in this party and whatever. So at this point, Michael done left the trunk of his truck open with all the gifts still hanging out the back of it, and he's on his way in here to the party. And I think, oh yeah, that's when we saw Sarah talking about, nah, Mike, you're not gonna do him like that. You're not gonna do him like that. And, you know, so we don't know what's gonna go on when Mike finally get in the party, because I think that that's where they left the cliffhanger at right there. Tony and Angela, y'all. Okay, so they start the scene. Of course, you know, we always at Angela damn trailer, honey. And so they got Tommy pulled up on her this time. So he knocked on the door. She comes outside. Let me tell y'all something. Angela is not playing about Miss C19. If you think that you finna come up in her house, that's where you fucked up at. You're not getting in Angela's house, okay? She's not going for it. So anyway, she meets Tommy out there on the porch, out there at the little table, and he's like, oh, you know, I come bearing gifts. So he said that he bought her and Tony a wedding gift. So she's like, oh, okay. So she opens it up and it's a light. And she was like, oh, you know, Tommy, this is cute. This is special. And she was like, yeah, it's unique. And Tommy's like, yeah, it's unique, just like you. And then, you know, so she's just tickled. And, you know, I feel like Tommy is just comic relief for Angela, honey, because she just be running that poor man over. She know what she be doing, honey. Angela, you know what you be doing. So, anyway, so he's just like, so yeah, you know, haven't seen you guys in a long time. Really haven't seen you since the wedding, but you know, I kind of know everything that's going on. So, you know, how are you holding up? Are you okay since everything happened between you and Tony? And she's just like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just, kind of taking it day by day, but I do get a little lonely. And so at this point, she starts telling him about Ross. And Tommy is instantly irritated because he is trying to figure out what is this damn lady's obsession with inmates. So he's like, oh, okay, so you got you another inmate. So he's like, I guess I'm just gonna have to get locked up in order to get a chance. And first Angela was like, oh, what you say? And so he repeated himself, and she just kind of laughed it off like, look, honey, they could give you life and you still ain't got a chance. So so moving on from that, so like I said, she's sitting here telling him about Ross and about their history or whatever, and he's just like, okay, Angela, whatever floats your damn boat, like, because at this point it's a hopeless case. So I don't know if we'll ever see Tommy again, because I think that pretty much confirmed to him that, like, look, she has a type and I don't fit it, so it is what the hell it is. Y'all, I'm sorry if y'all hear all that background noise. I got thunder, lightning, and the air conditioner just popped on. So I know it's a lot going on right now. Sorry if the microphone is picking all that up. But anyway, during the commercial, they went to a little snippet and they showed us what Tony was doing. Y'all, he's still over there hanging out at the motel. And he was FaceTiming with old boy. Y'all remember the best man at the wedding, that black man? So yeah, that's who he was FaceTiming with. And so the best friend was like, yeah, Tony, like, what's up, man? How you been doing? He like, shit, I just been, chilling over here in the motel because Angela still ain't took me back. This coronavirus got us all messed up. Like, but I'm just over here holding my head up the best I can and just hoping she'll take me back. So, the best friend is just like, what I'm saying, just hold your head up, man. And when I tell y'all, Tony was over there looking like he been going through it. He don't look like he been doing all that what Angela said, tricking off with the prostitutes and having a jolly old time. He looked like it's either he want to be back with Angela or just lock his ass back up. Just because the motel is not it. It's not the tea. So the last clip that we get for Angela is her sitting on the bed and she is reading a letter from Ross. And the letter is just very intimate, it's very personal, and it's just kind of Ross expressing his feelings for her, and how appreciative he is and how caring that she is for him, and this, that, and the third. And while she's reading it, she had just about got to the end of it and he called her. I think he called her or she called him, but either way, they ended up on some video chat. So we finally get to see Ross, on screen. And y'all, Ross is he's a cute little man, especially for Angela. Not that there's nothing wrong with Angela, because y'all, Angela's body is together. Yeah, Angela, besides all them cigarettes, Jesus. But outside of the cigarettes, y'all, Angela is a little stack. She a little brick house. So, yeah, Ross is a nice looking man. He looks like he could be a lot younger than her. I think they did say his age, but I just missed it. But yeah, he looks like he could be, him and Tony probably around the same age. So anyway, so he's like, yeah, you put me down, you let me go for Tony. And she's like, yeah, I just was going through my stuff, and when me and you fell out, it was just a lot for me, and Tony was there for me at that time, and that's how me and you just kind of fell so far apart. And y'all, she tells us that the reason that her and Ross had that falling out that time was because she said she wrote Ross a very personalized letter, or it was like a letter or a card, and it had an explicit part in there, and she felt like Ross just kind of took it and made fun of it and was kind of like inappropriate about the letter and dismissed her feelings. Like, you know, he didn't see the intimacy and the romance and the love in that particular part. He took it as comic relief, and it hurt her feelings. So, you know, in turn, they got in an argument and they stopped talking for a little while. And that is what made room for Tony ass to creep in. So, Ross ended up apologizing, and, you know, she really appreciated that. And he took all responsibility. He was like, you know, it was my fault. You know, I shouldn't have never handled things the way that I did. But at the end of the day, I done invited you down here several times to come and see me, and you ain't showed up yet. And she's like, well, look, you know I've been wrapped up in Tony, and you know how I am, and don't make me start crying because you know I'm emotional. And he's like, look, I'm gonna extend the invitation, and if you show up at my door, I promise we going somewhere. You know, we can go fishing, we can go camping, we can go out to eat. I don't care what we do. Don't care where we go. Don't care what we do. I don't care, pretty baby. Just take me with you. That's what Ross said, y'all. I didn't say it, Ross said it. Okay? So that was it for their little triangle. That was Tony, Angela, and Ross. Andrea and Lamar. Y'all already knew. Y'all, we left off last week with, with Tennyson being introduced to marijuana. So this week, they are, it looks like they might be like in their backyard or something, and they're getting ready to have a barbecue, or just, you know, just an outside dinner, which is, that was cute. So they're sitting down at the table, and they're waiting on little Priscilla to come on and get to the table. But while they're waiting, so, you know, they got the hot wings set up, they got them, you know, the little sides over there going on, and they just having a regular, oh, hey, you know, how you doing, how was your day, this, that, and the third. And so right at the time that little baby Priscilla comes and sit down, so Tennyson like, oh, well, you know, I was introduced to marijuana today. And so at first, Andrea's like, yeah, right, like, you know, really, what did you do today? So Tennyson is like, no, I'm serious. Like, we went and spent the day with Uncle Dulo, and, you know, he introduced me to weed. I'm 18, and, you know, he wanted to know if I was ready to indulge in the marijuana. And so Andrea instantly flips her shit. So she's like, so Lamar, what did you do? And so Lamar's like, nah, like I checked that situation. I checked that, you know. I already let Dulo know, like, our family don't, you know, the kids don't get down like that. You know, whatever me and him do, that's us. But, you know, that's off limits for the kids. And, you know, and I checked that situation right there. So she like, Tennyson, did that really happen? So Tennyson was like, yes. You know, he handled the situation really well. And so then here go Nyla, little messy ass, gonna talk about some he offered for him to, he extended it out for him to smoke it. So that's when Andrea just couldn't handle the conversation no more. She done picked up all the goddamn carrots and celery and flew them bitches all over Lamar. So, you know, I hope they enjoy them hot wings, because they ain't got no more vegetables to go with them. The celery and carrots is all over the ground. The ants is eating them. Priscilla looking like she don't know what just happened, because she was just ready to say grace and get to eating. Nyla sitting there with this little half grin on her face, like, I had already told you mama was gonna flip her shit. And Tennyson is looking like, you know, man, I probably should have had this conversation after dinner and not before. And of course, you know, Lamar, he don't give a shit because he's used to it. You know, he's used to it. So, you know, it's all good with him because he knew how he conducted himself in the situation, and so did Tennyson. So, you know, he's not really worried. But then it instantly flips to, I guess this is supposed to be the morning after. That man had to sleep on the couch. So, because Andrea is apparently big mad, okay? So, Nyla is one of the first people to wake up. So, she's like, that's where you slept at last night? And he's like, yeah. And he like, what you doing up so early? She's like, it's not early. And he's like, well, look, when you tossing and turning on the couch all night, you don't really know what damn time it is. So she's like, well, you know, don't feel bad because mom is mad at me too. And he was like, yeah, but I don't even understand what the big deal was because I checked the situation at the time. And he was like, you know, your mom needs to understand that I'm not going to let no hurt, harm, or danger come to y'all. Like, you guys are my children and I'm here to protect y'all. So, you know, Nyla's like, well, you know, that's great and all, but this is a conversation that you need to be having with my mom and not just me. And so he's like, yeah, you're right. I do need to talk to her. Of course, a few minutes later, Andrea's ass pops up. And so she walks into the living room and she just looked at his ass. And he said, good morning, baby. She said, And she kept on moving by her business because at this point, she still don't want to hear him or look at him. She heads on off up into the kitchen and he follows suit, you know. So I guess either Nyla is still sitting her ass in the living room or she done made her way on somewhere else so that they can have the conversation that they need to have. So she's in there and she's getting ready to make her a cup of coffee or some tea, it looked like. And then, so he pretty much just was saying, Lamar was pretty much just saying everything that he had just told Nyla. Like, look, I don't understand why you made such a big deal out of it because I had it under control. And she's like, but see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I didn't want to move here. When we were in Utah, my children were never introduced to drugs. My children, I didn't have to worry about this. We were safe. We were super safe. And I knew this was going to happen when we got here. And now look, it's happening right in our own family's home. And so he's like, but listen, if you know that you have raised your kids correctly, if you have raised them to love God and know right from wrong, you don't have to worry about anything that anybody offers them because all you have to be confident in is that they're going to make the right decisions. And so that is probably the only thing that hit Andrea hard enough for her to actually listen to understand instead of listen to respond. So when Lamar said that, she was like, really? You know, you think I did a good enough job to where no matter what comes their way, they're going to make the right decisions? And he was like, hell yeah. Like, you know, if you ain't did nothing else, you have instilled the fear of God in these kids. You have raise them to the point where they're not going to fall for the okie doke. These kids are going to be okay. And she was like, yeah, you know, I think you're right. I think you're right. And so she was like, which leads me to my next point of this is why Priscilla needs to get baptized. Because I need her to be washed in the blood of Jesus too. I need her to be touched by the blood of the Lamb so that she can make these correct decisions in life just like her siblings. So, you know, Lamar's not trying to hear it because y'all remember last week, he was against it last week and I was against it with him. But Andrea is still on it and she is trying to make a point that, you know, you just told me that I'm raising these kids right. So what makes you think that I wouldn't want the same thing for little Priscilla? So I feel like, for argument's sake, Lamar was just like, okay, like, so how does this process work? So she says, well, I got in touch with the church, and because of C19 and, you know, because they are in LA, but Tennyson is ordained to, I forgot how she titled it, but anyway, he's ordained to be able to baptize little Priscilla. I don't know how this works, but she says that he can baptize little Priscilla in a swimming pool. That's what she said. And she was like, all we got to do is pray over the water. So apparently, if they pray over the water immediately turns into holy water. And I'm not being funny, because I'm really, you know, ignorant when it comes to that whole thing. Like, I don't know where to start and I don't know where to finish. So I'm really not being funny. I'm being funny, but I'm really not being funny when I say that, you know, I don't know how it goes from chlorine water that people done spit and peed and swam around in to holy water. And like, when Priscilla gets in it, is she gonna have on a bathing suit and a swim cap, or make me understand? Anyway, so she explains the whole operation to Lamar, and Lamar was looking just as crazy as I am. But again, he does not want another night on this damn sofa. So he says, fine, if Tennyson is going to do it, if he's willing to do it, then she can get baptized. And so at this point, Andrea done threw everything else out the window, because she is finally getting what she wants, and little baby Priscilla is going to be baptized. Shane and Lacey. Okay, this scene starts out with with Lacey got her lips this damn close up in the screen, talking about, yeah, so it is early in the morning, and yeah, it's time for us to go ahead and do what we gotta do. So I gotta wake Shane up. Okay. And then we see her straddle over on top of him, and she's like, babe, are you ready? And he's like, oh, it's time. Are you? And she's like, yeah, are you excited? Y'all, it is time for them to start their IVF. I think that's what it is. The IVF process, which means that at a certain time, that's when he actually had to shoot the eggs in her. I believe that's what it was. Now, if I'm wrong, y'all please drop down in the comment section below and let me know that, like, that's not what that is. So, because, yeah, I don't think that they actually had to go through the physical act of having intercourse. He didn't have to shoot up the club. He just had to insert the children in her. So, she let us know that the procedure cost $25,000, and of course Shane is aware of this, so he got his fingers crossed, and she's got her fingers crossed, because of the fact that she can only afford to do this one time. So if she does not get pregnant from this procedure, then that's just what that is. Like, you know, she'll just have to deal with the fact that she's not able to give Shane any kids anytime soon. But, you know, Shane was saying that he's going to have to do what he have to do if this procedure don't go through, because even though he's on furlough from his job right now because of C19, like, he wants a baby. So he don't know how many jobs he would have to work and how many hours he would have to put in to come up with $25,000, but he would do what he have to do. So anyway, fast forward, they do the procedure, and 2, I guess it's eggs, I hope I'm saying it right, eggs, embryos, I don't know, y'all, but anyway, 2 seeds passed through. And this has Shane excited but very nervous at the same time, because like he said, he's on furlough. So like, wow, what if we end up having twins? But you know, Lacey's not worried. She's like, look, if push come to shove, you already know I'm gonna get that OnlyFans popping, and we're gonna make this money. Like, it is just what it is. So she's not worried. And so the next scene, we see Shane sitting at the dining room table, and he helping all the kids do their homework. The kids about half paying attention. They throwing their pencils and crayons and shit at him, talking about, you know, bro, you do it. And so he's like, man, look, it is really hard out here being a parent. He was like, but you know, if my girl ends up getting pregnant, then this is, you know, I be done had some good practice, because these kids is off the damn hook. So, you know, to start my own child from scratch, it's gonna be a cakewalk. This is gonna be a piece of cake. And in the middle of the homework, Lacey calls him in the bedroom, and she's like, you know, come here, babe, you know, I got something I want to show you. So he comes in the bedroom, and she's standing there with a digital pregnancy test. And she's like, I'm getting ready to take the test so that, you know, we can find out if we're going to be parents or not. She took the test, and ta-da! She is pregnant. The little the electronic pregnancy test definitely kept flashing that she was pregnant. So they were both excited. Shane looked more nervous than anything, because now I'm pretty sure his mind is like, okay, she pregnant, but is it 1 or is it 2? So he looked more nervous than anything, but they're gonna be all right. Last but certainly not least, we had Brittany and Marcelino. Now, y'all remember last week that Brittany and Marcelino had just came in from their little date. You know, Brittany hadn't been out since the pandemic, so she was excited to be out. But when they got back home, the mama had went MIA, and the sister had already done ratted her out, saying pretty much, you know, mom called me over here to bait me in, basically, so that I could babysit your kids while she go out and do whatever it is that she do. So Brittany is heated, and her and her sister have now jumped in the truck, and they're looking for their mom. So they made it right to her. So I don't know if that was her residence or if that's just a hangout where the mama be at. But, you know, anyway, Brittany drove right to where she was at. And on the way over there, she was just telling her sister, like, look, you know, mom has been doing this ever since I was a little girl. And now you're having to witness the same things that I had to witness as a child. And it's not fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to me. And it's certainly not fair to her grandchildren. Like, I'm sick of this shit. Like, Brittany was on 1,000. So once they get over to the place where the mama is, it must have been her house, because one of them had a key to get in. So they went right in, and when I say the mama was in there looking like a fucking zombie, y'all, the mama was looking crazy. And she had, her nose was all messed up. So, you know, Brittany didn't spell her. Brittany was like, look at you. You look a mess. And how dare you steal from your child? Like, did you take her money to go get pills and to go buy alcohol? And so the mama was like, yeah, maybe, you know, I probably did. I don't know. And Brittany was like, you need to be ashamed of yourself. This is ridiculous. So at this point, the mama is feeling like Brittany is putting on for the camera. She like, look, bro, you doing the most. And so she tries to go on the back patio and just kind of be done with it. And Brittany goes and stands in the threshold of the patio, and she's still going off on her. She's like, look at your nose. Like, what, you know, what, you back doing drugs? Look at your nose. And she's like, no, I ain't been doing no drugs. I had a pimple, and she asked somebody to pop it, and she said that's how her nose got like that. But y'all, it looked bad. It looked like one whole side of her nose was just ate off. So I don't know what kind of drug that would be, but it wasn't no pimple. That's what I do know. So Brittany is like, well, I'm gonna tell you this. Until you get your shit together, you will not see me. You will not see your daughter. You will not see your grandkids. You know, you will be sitting here drowning in your own sorrows, and you will be left here to figure your own shit out. So she's like, yeah, whatever, just leave. I don't give a shit. And she was like, okay, yeah, cool. And so she told her little sister to go get her stuff, and they left pretty much. And so we'll see if they give us any more backstory on that next week. But yeah, y'all, that was my recap of Love After Lockup season 3 episode 11. I think that was episode 11. Yeah, that was season 3 episode 11. And again, I apologize for it coming out so late, but if you took the time to watch the entire video, you know I appreciate you so much. Anyway, until next time, be happy, be healthy, be safe. This your girl P Hope, and I am gone.